Hey guys, welcome back to the Old Paths. Thank you again for being here. We appreciate every single one of you, all the support you're giving us. If you can, go over and subscribe, like the video. We appreciate all that support that you're giving us. We're amazed again at the time of filming this. The last video is about to break 700. Absolutely blown away. So stay with us. We'll show you what we sold and we'll show you around the Old Paths. So stay tuned. All right, let's see what sold. So first off, we have in the drawers, we got a couple, and I'm already in the wrong drawer, but I do have some in here too. We sold Donkey Kong Returns for the Nintendo 3DS. That sold for $22.99. We also sold, let's see, it's not in that drawer. Maybe that drawer? Yeah. The Ring Fit Adventures game and accessories. And that sold for $44.99. And let's see. Then go to another drawer. Probably that one. Yeah. WWE Royal Rumble 2004. Sold for $12.99. And one more. In another drawer. We're going to open every drawer today. Yep, probably. Right there. Dr. Quinn Medicine Woman, the entire collection for $54.99. That's everything out of the drawers. And let's see what else. Okay, next we have a Stampin' Up set. It is Jars of Flowers. That's in J3. Jars of Flowers. There it is right there. Stampin' Up photopolymer set, Jars of Flowers. And it sold for $24.99. That's a pretty good Stampin' Up set. Next up, we have a straight ahead Pro Glider styling comb. I'll put this up as I go. An M4. This was a pretty good pickup. I think I give like, I can't remember. I did pay up a little bit for that at a yard sale. I thought it looked cool. And when I got it home, I was happy I bought it because it sold for $99.99. So good sale there. We have a Captain Carter action figure back in '02. '02. Oh boy. One thing about filling totes up is they get hard to find stuff. All kinds of wrestlers in that one. But there she is, Captain Carter. And let's see what she sold for. She sold for $17.99. And then we have on rack 1 a Woodbury watch case. I think, yeah, right here. Right there. Woodbury watch case. Holds 10 watches. It sold for $32.99. Then we have a Crinkle Claws Possible Dreams Christmas Tree Santa. That's 659117 over here on rack 10. 659117. We've got a bunch of these, so it'll probably take me a minute to find it. 659117. That one, I think. Yep, that one right there. So Crinkle Claws Christmas Tree Santa sold for $22.99. Then back to rack 13, a vintage Corel Wildflower Poppy tea mug set of 4. Rack 13. Rack 13. Right here in front. Right there they are. And these sold for, let's see, $22.99. And then rack 5, I don't know how to say this, Limoges, Haviland, France white porcelain, Jean-Jacques Prolongo, maybe 3 wise men. This is a Tanya find. I'll show you these before I tell you how much. These are pretty cool. They're right somewhere on this rack. Keep a lot of the breakable stuff on this rack just to keep it away from, I don't like to put them in totes and bang them around before they get broke. So I keep them all separate, but I'll sit these down for you to get a better view. These are 3 porcelain wise men, and they sold for $149.99. Unbelievable to me. I don't, that's something I would have walked right past and never looked at a yard sale, and that ties in with our topic here in a minute. We'll talk about it in just a minute. Let's pull our last 2 on rack 8. Thanks to my brilliant wife / camera woman, we come up with the idea of packing some of the big stuff before we ship it out. So this is a Rock Band drum set. I'm gonna sit it over here, pre-packed, ready to go, done. All we gotta do is pack it. That sold for, let's see, I think it was $139.99. And last we have a golf club set, Adams golf clubs, irons and wedges. Say it's that one probably. I think that's it right there. So Adams golf club set. If they're not worth selling separately, sell them in sets. Don't be afraid to lot them together. You can still get a bunch in one of these 6x6 boxes. Every one of them will fit in there easy. We've actually fit like 8 or 10 clubs in one before, so they'll hold a lot. And that is the right set. So 5 clubs sold for $99.99. So not a bad weekend overall. 13 total orders for $797.95. So pretty good. Just thought I'd show you guys how funny Tanya is. She labels the boxes when she's packing, or I'll know what they are. This one says totally useless to Caleb. Have any idea what that might be? Yeah, it's a curling iron. She's so funny. All right, guys, wanted to talk about our topic for a few minutes. Is it better to buy piece by piece, or is it better to buy in bulk? The answer to that question is yes. Whichever way you do it, whatever works for you. I am a big supporter of whatever works for you. And I know a lot of people say, oh, it's so much better if you buy 100 pieces all at once and make a bundle deal. If you can do that, that's great. If you're out there cherry picking single pieces, getting a $50 item here, a $50 item there, and you're making it work, good for you. That's awesome. I think both ways work. If you're finding 500 pieces at a time that are worth 10 bucks a piece, that's awesome. I mean, eBay is such a wonderful tool in your hands that you can make money in so many different ways. It doesn't have to be that if you're not doing it this way, you're not doing it right. It's whatever is working for you. For example, this past weekend, me and Tanya woke up expecting like a yard sale or 2. That's all that was advertised, was really like 1. So we went, checked it out, bought some stuff there. Then we found a few more. Well, we ended up by the end of the day going to somewhere near 10 yard sales. And we spent like $400 or $500, and we come home with all kinds of stuff. So we made some deals that were piece by piece deals, and we made some deals. For instance, we bought, let me back up. For instance, she bought 550 pieces of silverware. Thanks a lot, Christina, over at Trading Post Pickers, for getting my wife on that kick. But no, seriously, it is a really good thing to be on the lookout for. We paid $40 for around 550 pieces, and it could be worth $5,000+. We've not done all the research yet, but we know that there's good stuff there. So it's just when people say, oh, if you're not doing it this way or if you're not doing it that way, forget all that and do it the way it works for you. So yeah, shout out Christina and Scott over at Trading Post Pickers. Christina is the silverware queen. She knows pretty much everything there is to know, as far as I'm concerned, about silverware. And I would say Scott too, but he done told me not to blame that on him, so I'll blame that on you, Scott. But I mean, some people like to niche down. You know, Christina's really good at silverware. If I went out depending on silverware to make this work, I would bomb completely out. Now, if I'm looking for toys, or I'm looking for video games or tools or hats or some collectible stuff or electronics, I can do that. Some people are better than I am. I'm not a master of anything, but I am a jack of all trades. I know a little about everything. But you don't have to say, if you're not doing it this way, you're not going to succeed. There are so many people on YouTube you can watch. Some people love hats, those RIN guys. Tim, over the years, Cernox Connection, Blood, Sweat, and Sales, Leroy, and then OBX Picker. Those guys love hats, and if you want to know about hats, they're your source. But just saying buying hats, if you don't buy them by the hundreds, is wrong. That's not a good argument. You can find hats all day long at yard sales for a quarter, for 50 cents, for $1. And you can take those hats and flip them sometimes for $20, $30, $50, $100, depending on how rare they are. So the argument is just based on your point of view. Do you prefer to sell stuff that you buy in bulk, or do you prefer to sell stuff that you cherry pick one at a time, or two at a time, or three at a time? It's whatever works for you. I personally like both ways. I love to find deals on a ton of items. I bought 26 video games this weekend. Nothing super spectacular, but I gave $25 because I asked her what she would take for everything. And there was a deal to be made. I have bought just a few video games because I didn't want, like 50 copies of Madden that was worth $7. I would go after the ones that was worth $15, $20. It just depends on what kind of deal there is to be made. But definitely, it's all subjective based on what you want it to be. If you find a big old box of toys and they say, hey, we'll take $5 for that whole box, but you really don't want to fool with 90% of it, cherry pick what you want. I mean, it just depends on what you want. If you like just all of it, take it all, but it has to work for you. And one thing I've found to be true, you don't want to burn yourself out. You don't want to overload yourself with too much at one time. I've heard so many people say I've got too much stuff. And one trick about that I've learned, if you put it in totes and you put it up neat, it won't burn you up quite as bad as if it's just a big mountain of stuff piling up in a room. That's a trick that's helped me to keep from being overwhelmed with a huge death pile. Right now we've got 29 totes of the 27-gallon totes I just carried out 2 this morning. And that's quite a few totes of stuff. I'm just guessing there's probably, at least 1,000 to 1,500, maybe 2,000 listings worth of stuff in those totes. It's enough to carry us through 6 months easily. But if you let it pile up neatly, it's not as bad as just piling up in a big mess. But yeah, definitely, guys, whatever works for you, make it work for you. Don't let it work against you, but let it work for you. Well, guys, that's going to be it for this episode. I'm blown away again by all your support. Thank you for being here. If you haven't done so yet, please like and subscribe. We appreciate each and every one of you. Until next time, keep seeking the old paths.